Hey everybody, I'm in here in my daughter's room doing a building project and I need to anchor this stud to my wall, but I don't have my stud finder. So today I'm going to show you 3 steps to find your stud without a stud finder. Step 1 is to find your landmarks. So here's what I mean by that. On this wall, here are my landmarks. I have a corner, I have an outlet, which means there's a junction box behind this outlet, and I have my other corner. I can start with any of these landmarks. Well, here's what I know about this corner. This corner is built with a corner bead, piece of metal, attached to a 1/2 inch piece of drywall on either side. And at the edge of that drywall, there must be a stud. So I know for certain that there's wood right behind here starting a 1/2 inch from the edge. So I'm gonna go ahead and give myself a little mark right there. I know that there is a stud right here. I already have my line that I'm gonna hang my 2x4 on. I just don't know where those studs are, but I do know there's a piece of wood behind here. Those are landmarks. Here's another landmark. This outlet is attached to a junction box that must be up against a stud. So we know there's either a stud right here or a stud right here. Not both, just one. These are our landmarks. Step 2 is to use our knowledge of 16 on center to find the rest of our studs. So here's what we know. These walls were built with a stud every 16 inches. That's what we know. And so there is probably a stud 16 inches from that corner and every 16 inches after that. Now it's possible that the studding started on the other end of the wall, 16 inches from that side. That is possible, but we're gonna go ahead and hope that that 16 inches started right here. And if we find that those 16 inches sit right before or right after this receptacle, then we're gonna be pretty sure that we know right where that second stud is. So here we go. I know my tape's turned upside down, left-hander here. So check it out, 16 inches sits right here. My guess is that this junction box is attached to a stud right here. We have 2 strong pieces of evidence for that. And so my second stud is probably sitting right there. Third step, we're gonna confirm by knocking on the wall. You've probably seen your dad or your grandpa knocking on a wall going, "Oh, there's a stud right there, all right. Ain't no stud right there. There's a stud right there." You've probably seen him do that and wonder what's going on. I'm gonna show you why the knocking method actually makes a lot of sense to use. Okay, here's why knocking works. What I've got here is a hand drum, and the drum head will reverberate in the space where there's nothing touching it inside of the wooden circle that it's attached to. Your sheet of drywall, you can kind of consider to be a drum head. I'll use an actual 2x4 here to show you what I mean. As you get closer to the stud, that reverberation is going to change from a deep boom, boom, boom to a higher pitched boop, 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 faster. Listen to this. Did you hear it? Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so here we go. It's a lower sound there and a higher sound. So my knocking is confirming that I have a stud right here. I don't know if it's picking it up, but listen to this. High pitch sound, lower sound, high pitch sound. And so I believe there is a stud right here. Now we can confirm this by putting a screw in. Now this will be below the line that my 2x4 is sitting, so it'll be hidden if I'm actually not correct. But here we go. Oh yeah. There is a stud right there. From here, I'm gonna go ahead and mark every 16 inches, because if there were 16 inches from this stud to this stud, it stands to reason there's 16 inches from every other stud. And I'm gonna show you one more trick to help you ensure you are hitting studs. Okay, so I have my studs marked. I can do the tapping. All of it sounds good. Here's my final trick, tiny screwdrivers. This little bonus is called the cheater method. If you want to be sure that you're on a stud and you want to feel that thing, the screw will make a big dent. This tiny screwdriver will not. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to punch this screwdriver into the wall, and if it stops at a stud, I know I'm there. But if it punches all the way in, I know that I've missed the stud. So let's try it out. Let's check this spot. My hope is that I have a stud right here. Okay. Notice that that's all the farther I can go in. If I was gonna miss the stud, come on over here, I'll miss the stud. Notice it'll go all the way in. So you can use your skinny screwdriver to cheat and verify with a very tiny hole you're leaving if you accidentally measure wrong. Anyway, I hope this helps. I'm gonna look for my stud finder. Here it is. I found a stud.